Hi, this is a recipe for a guitar type of sound that you can create with any subtractive synthesizer. In this case I will use a microKORG, but you can use any synthesizer as long as it has an oscillator with a pulse or square where you can modify the pulse width. So we'll start by initializing the patch and then we will build up the sound from ground up. For the microKORG I have to close down the resonance because the initial sound will have the resonance open as well. Now we have a true initial patch with a sawtooth wave. I like to start with setting the amp envelope because that gives me an idea of the type of sound. In this case a guitar type of sound has a decay envelope. So I will first set the sustain to 0 and then I will open up the decay because I like the sound to sustain a bit longer than this. And you hear also when I release the sound that the sound is chopped off. That's because the release is still 0, so I like to open the release a bit as well, but not too much. I will update the screen so you can see these settings. Here's my amp envelope, a decaying sound, and the release is a bit open. The next thing we will do is set the oscillator. Like I said, it should not be a saw but a pulse, but not a square pulse like this. So I will modify the pulse width. Okay, this is the sound I like. I'll update the screen again so you can see what I did. I selected a square and then modified the pulse. So this is the basic of the sound. I will transpose the sound an octave down. This has nothing to do with the sound itself, of course, but that's what I like. I could use a 12 dB or a 24 dB filter for the microKORG. In this case I like the 24 dB filter. So I will select the 24 dB filter and I want to let it be opened by the envelope because I like a bright sound in the start and then decaying it to a more muted sound. So I will close down the filter a fair bit. And then we will open it up with the envelope. So I have to set the envelope to modify the sound. As you hear, the envelope is doing nothing. That's because the sustain is full open of the filter envelope. So I will first have to modify the envelope of the filter. Let me first update the screen. So you can see I've selected a 24 dB filter, resonance is 0 and the cutoff is almost closed, but it's modified by the filter envelope. So to modulate the filter I want the sustain to be closed a bit. And now I get more of a guitar type of sound. As you can hear, the sound is chopped off by the release because the release is 0. So the release should be more open than the release of the amp. This is the filter envelope that is modulating the filter, and you can see at the start it's more bright and then it's muted a bit more. This is the basic of the sound, And now we can set some modifiers. The amp should be modified by the velocity, so the first modifier will be velocity to the amp. Something like this. And the next thing I like to do is to modify the pitch by a bit, so that the pitch is a bit higher in the beginning and then comes down to a lower pitch. So I use the amp envelope to the pitch and only a small bit. And to be in tune, I will tune the pitch a little bit down. So the average will be the right pitch. I'll update the screen so you can see what I did. The amp envelope is modifying the pitch and the tuning is a bit down. The velocity will modify the cutoff of the filter, so when I play louder then the sound will be brighter. The microcork has limited effects, but they are very useful. For this, in this case, I would like an ensemble. It's a bit like a chorus effect to modify the sound. Okay, and we can add some delay. In this case I will use a stereo cross delay. Not time based. Not too much, but a fair bit. So we have set the velocity to the cutoff, the pitch modulated by the amp, and the velocity also modulates the volume. And we have added some effects. I can show those too. An ensemble effect or chorus effect and a cross delay. Of course you can also modify the equalizer settings to further enhance the sound. And what we still should do is doing something about the vibrato. By default this is done by the modulation wheel on the microcork, but this is much too much, so we will put it a bit down. And I think it's too fast, and this is by default LFO2. So I have to set the speed a bit down of LFO2. Okay. Update the screen again and you will see that I have updated the LFO as well. And now the sound is something like this. So I hope you liked it, and please you can find the whole recipe for this sound on my website in Google Sites. Thank you for watching. Bye bye.